Oh man, this was fun. This is a fun crossover. Thank you, IDW, for doing something that I have been waiting for you guys to do for a long ass time. So, yes, this is going to be my review of Star Trek versus Transformers. Now, for reference, just so everyone understands, this Star Trek versus Transformers crossover deals with the TOS animated series that went after I believe it came after or like during the final season of Star Trek. But bottom line, this is more about the animated series than it is the original TOS show. Also, this may come as a shock, but also the Transformers we see in here are loosely like the G1 cartoon, but it's kind of an amalgam of the G1 cartoon with a few other things, and I'll get to that in a moment. So this story is pretty straightforward. This is just fun, campy goodness. When I saw that it was like the animated Star Trek crossing over with like a version of the G1 cartoon, I was like, yeah, I'm not expecting like a deep story. And honestly, with Star Trek and Transformers, you can do deep storytelling, but when I saw that this was going to be more cartoony, I was like, yep, I'm in for a good time. I'm just here for a good time. Maybe later down the line IDW will do another Star Trek Transformers crossover, and that will be a little more, like serious, like a little more serious in tone, but for what we got, this was a lot of fun. So, anywho, in this crossover, Kirk and the rest of the crew of the Enterprise are replying to a mining colony who's been attacked by a Klingon warship. But when they get there, they discover that they are actually under attack by the Decepticons who've been woken up, and that's when they run into Optimus Prime and later the Autobots. So what I like about this crossover is that, especially the art, I really want to talk about the art real quick, because in here, the artwork, oh my god, the artwork. It's so much like the cartoons, both cartoons. Like this fun, colorful, cartoony artwork. It really feels like you're looking at the animated stills for a unaired episode of this thing. If it was going to be an actual episode of either Transformers and/or Star Trek, the animated series. Excuse me. So yeah, the artwork is just so, it pops, it feels very colorful, it's very retro, it really complements both animated shows. Now, like I said, while it is Transformers G1 centric, there is some discrepancies in that there are two characters in here that did not appear in G1. Those being Windblade, from, of course, who originally appeared in the IDW comics and made her appearance in the Cyberverse cartoon, but I think she showed up in something before the animated show. Yeah, she did appear in the show before Cyberverse, but I digress. So, the other character is Arachnid, the Decepticon from Transformers Prime, which made me go, wait, why are Arachnid and Windblade here if we're going for G1? I was like, oh, I guess that's because they're fan favorites, and yeah. Also, there aren't a lot of Autobots and/or Decepticons. They don't really explain what happened to the other Autobots and Decepticons. They just say that there was a war, and I'm going to get into that real quick. You see, when they they actually try to explain how the Transformers are in the Star Trek universe, and it's a little haphazard because they do mention that, yeah, they arrived on Earth. The Autobot Decepticon war happened, and they built a base from Fortress Maximus. That looked much like the Autobot city in the 80s cartoon movie. The problem is that then they say that the eugenics war happened, World War III and the eugenics war happened, and the human race just forgot about them. Like, they just were like, fuck you guys, and stole all the resources, making both the Autobots and Decepticons leave, which made me go, okay, I know this is meant to be a little more cartoony, but this makes a little less sense, because they have the Enterprise and the Federation do not have a single record of giant robots who worked alongside humans to fight other giant robots. Like, come on! I don't know, maybe that's just the nerd in me, where I was just like, okay, that's a little, tying it in, like, there's no portal, there's no like, you could have done that, like, you could have easily done that and maybe involved Shockwave or something, but, they do kind of just, like, glance over, oh yeah, the war happened, but then World War III happened, and I guess Jazz is bitter about it. So yeah. Maybe, and the other thing is, like, you don't see, like, Skywarp or Prowl or a few other Autobots and Decepticons. You don't see, but I guess, like, they were trying to hint at that during the war they lost a lot. There was a bunch of losses on both sides. Maybe, I don't know. Or maybe they say, like, they all got separated. I can't remember. Point being is that, aside from that, this is really fun. This is a really fun, just out there, fun little story. We get some, like, that's the thing, is that if you were expecting, like, a deep and serious story, get that thought out of your head right now, because this knew exactly what it was trying to be. This, it knows what it wants to be and goes on its merry way, and for a 5-issue miniseries, I usually have this problem with not just crossovers, but also, like, miniseries in general, where I kind of talk about how, what was it? How I've talked about how either a crossover is too long or too short in some cases. This is one of those occasions where just, like, the pacing feels right. For a 5-issue miniseries, this pacing feels just right. Like, it really does. It really does. It feels brisk, and it actually, like, it doesn't feel, like, nothing feels like it doesn't belong here. Like, nothing feels like it shouldn't be here, or that, you know, it feels like there was no scenes needed to be cut out, or there was something to be cut out. So yeah, this 5-issue miniseries actually has some really damn good pace. I'm not gonna lie, it really has some good pace. I also love Fortress Tiberius, which is a literal fucking enterprise that transforms into a version of Fortress Maximus, and it's being piloted like a goddamn Ava unit. It's being piloted like a goddamn Ava unit by Kirk. It's amazing. There's also some really fun stuff that they play with both Transformers and Star Trek, and really, like, yeah, everything you think they would have done in a Star Trek Transformers crossover, they do. The only thing that's missing is the Borg. Like, I would have, like, if they do a sequel, maybe if they do decide to do a sequel, they'll do it with Next Generation, and maybe the Borg can be the villains, like, they're assimilating Cybertronian technology. I know everyone uses the Borg in Star Trek crossovers, but it's the Borg. They work. But yeah, that would make sense, wouldn't it? Like, having the Borg, or maybe Lore as working with Megatron or something, if they do it with Next Generation. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. So all in all, if you are a fan of Star Trek and Transformers, boy, have I got a crossover for you. Wow, this was really fun. It didn't take itself seriously. It knew what it wanted to be and went on its merry way. I really love this. So you guys tell me in the comments below, if you've read Star Trek vs. Transformers, just comment below, let me know what you guys thought of it. And once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you guys later.